The dawn of civilization. Primitive. Dangerous. Exciting. The handwriting is on the wall. If the human race is ever going to amount to anything, it needs
the most civilized caveman I have ever seen.
Look who's come out of his cave.
Thanks for joining us today. This is James from Cave Dweller Music. Brendan is here with me hosting today, and we have the guys from Weed Demon joining us for an interview. How's it going, dudes? Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
So you guys got together in 2014. What brought you all together?
Yeah, you can still give them the preface, the background.
Here's the thing. All right, so Jordan and I were starting a hardcore band called Marked for Death.
Very tough.
The original drummer who never played a show with Weed Demon said, "Oh, we should play like some stoner metal or whatever." So I was like, all right, it would be funny to be in a band called Weed Demon. So we started playing stoner riffs, and then
he quit on that too.
Yeah, quit on that. So then that's when we found Brian, and our real original drummer, who is no longer with us. And the saga has been epic tale of years of barely remembering shows and having good times.
Yeah, and also trying to find a drummer perpetually. And I'm sorry if anyone listening is a drummer, but man, fucking drummers, am I right?
All right, as a drummer, I'm gonna just say, fucking A.
Yeah, Jesus. So we originally were trying to, we thought Weed Demon was kind of almost too tongue-in-cheek, kind of silly, and we were like, we can come up with something else other than that. Even though Weed Demon, it felt good, but we just were not sure if we wanted to be that cheeky with it. And so we were like, you know what? We were probably a week, or 2 weeks away from, I think, our first show. We were playing a motorcycle rally here in Columbus called Pinned. And we were just like, man, fuck it. We just got to go with something. Let's just stick with Weed Demon. And then it's turned out that people like it. I guess it fits the music.
I was always on board with Weed Demon.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks, guys.
I was like,
appreciate it. Yeah. It's a great name, I suppose, for the genre.
That's funny. So that all started out as like a gag, but then you just stuck with it.
Has always been a gray area of that. We take ourselves seriously, but, when you're in a genre with bands called Sleep and Bong Ripper and Beelzebong and Bongzilla and every other bong reference under the sun, you just kind of gotta
Cannabis corpse.
Yeah, except the fact that this is a genre that's based around slow riffs and weed. So
and metal dudes are goofy anyway.
Yeah, and Satan. Don't forget that. So,
key ingredient.
Satan. Yeah. So Weed Demon was it was kind of on a back burner for a while with some of our other bands, and then we realized that a lot of people were into it, so it became our primary focus, and all of our other bands sort of became our secondary band, so to speak.
So this brings me up to my second question. What did you smoke for breakfast?
On most days, because of COVID, I'm all weird now about smoking, so I just eat my weed now. I'm not literally eating nuggets of weed. Would. Don't get me wrong, absolutely would. But, I've just got an ample supply of gummies and chocolate chip cookies. So I'm pretty much usually, for the last couple of months, I've just eaten most of my weed every day.
My routine is generally wake up about 10, 12 in the morning, roll the joint, go to the park and smoke it.
Good.
And then, do whatever strikes my fancy the rest of the day. I probably go back and smoke the rest of that joint about lunchtime, and then probably about 9 o'clock, roll another one, and then, that'll keep me good until about 4 in the morning until I fall asleep, and then it's another long day of rolling joints and smoking them.
Joint rolling, yeah.
Shit.
And then Brian, what did you smoke for breakfast today, Brian?
Nothing, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Care to say why?
I'm not legally allowed to right at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Womp, womp, womp.
Probation is fun. I'll say that.
True.
Yeah, so we're there wasn't he didn't cut off Pedophile's dick or anything. But
And that's all we can say.
that's all we can say
That's
about
all we
it.
can say about it.
So anyways, yeah, we're doing what we can. We're trying to stay honest, stay humble, and stay high.
And I rolled a
It's
chorizo
honest work.
this morning, so
Oh, sick, dude.
awkward.
Damn, a breakfast.
I actually had a question for you guys. I wanted to ask, what is the most important event that you have missed by accidentally getting too high?
Ooh.
Oh fuck.
I don't know if I remember it.
I was late. Okay, so I can do one. Many moons ago, as we are all elder statesmen of the metal scene. Back when I was in my early 20s, I was in the most quintessential deathcore, basic ass, chug chug riff, breakdown, at the gates, rip off band ever, whatever. It was fun. Anyways, I was playing my last show with them, and I was so fucking ripped that they ended up starting without me. So I was down. It was a 2-story bar, and I was on the bottom floor. I was doing a shot with a girl.
What were you playing at that
And
time?
they were like, apparently they'd been calling my name for like 10 minutes, and then just said fuck it and started playing. So I missed I think the first song and a half of my final performance with the band.
I got a similar story gig that I totally blew, although it was kind of a fucked up, stupid gig anyway. When I was at college, I had this roommate named Jake, and he was a singer, more of a promotions guy. He was a promotions freaking wizard. And he was real good at getting himself in getting a nice situation that he had to figure his way out of. So he hits me up one day, and he's like, dude, what are you doing tonight? You want to play a show? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we haven't had a band for 6 months. He's like, I know, but I got someone to give me a gig tonight. I need something and I'm like, oh my God, do you need us to make up a band right now? All right, let's make up a band then. And so I went to the house, and it was just my guitar and a laptop, and basically I was already stoned and just noodling around with a delay effect. And he's like, that's it. That's great. Yeah, do it just like that. I'm like, just like what? All right, so I'm going to show up, and I'm going to totally make it up as I go along, and it'll be great, and I'll save the day. And we just continue to get high until we get to the show, and we're the only people playing. It's sort of like not like an open mic, but like somewhere between an open mic and a regular concert, Like, obviously, it was all last minute, and basically, it's time, and he just points at me and says, all right, introduce a picnic, go! And I've got my guitar, and I took the biggest mental dump you could imagine. I just, completely forgot I forgot what music was, forgot where I was, what my name was, why I was here. And, Jake was pretty miffed. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Yeah, half a practice in 30 minutes. We need more time.
One of my old bands, I totally forgot the riff and everything, so I just turned the volume knob of my guitar off and faked it for the whole.
That's a pro move. That's totally a pro move. And you could have just, that's subtle. Who would know?
You can't fuck it up if you can't hear it, right?
But for you to recognize and to do it, I'd say that's admirable.
I was back on board by the second song in the set, but
wait, was this in Weed Demon?
no.
Did you do that with us, Brian?
I got a story about someone else like that. Well, the first time I played Skatopia, the bass player in that band got so drunk that he wound up just crawling behind his amp and kind of hiding. What are we supposed to do, man? He's like, I don't know. I just can't do it. I was like, oh man.
Just for context, Skatopia is a like an anarchy fueled, no cops, no laws, no rules melee in the middle of the like 500-acre farm in
right on the border of West Virginia,
rural Ohio / Appalachia, West Virginia area, and it's owned by a former pro skater, and he's insane. And
he's rapping nuts. It's where I first met you guys.
Yeah,
not like first met you, like Brian. I'd known you before that, but I think the first time like hanging with you guys,
for
and
sure.
my first time seeing you.
I'm pretty sure the first time you were naked.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you were naked.
Was I playing on stage or was I just randomly naked?
Naked in the bowl.
I think you were just naked in general.
Okay. Yeah, that happened there sometimes.
So anyways, yeah, Skatopia is a lot. It's just a giant, cars are on fire. You guys ever remember, you guys remember Viva La Bam?
Yes.
So Viva La Bam did an episode out at Skatopia where Slayer and Guar played. So it's a total fucking chaos.
Oh god.
Drugs and just you see some. It's like a weird mix of like hobos, hillbillies, and punk rockers. It's insane.
I just remember Isaac trying to suck his own dick in the mosh pit. That was fun.
Turns out,
Like
actually,
20 minutes trying to suck his own dick.
If you watch our first video we ever did, which was just a live set from Skatopia, there's a small part at the end of the song for Lost in the Catacombs where this dude's trying to suck his own dick. It's great. It's quality content.
Another fun fact: Tony Hawk Underground 2.
I'm gonna search for that later tonight.
40% accurate.
Yeah,
like it's real. The giant barn with the full pipe is totally real.
Yeah.
I'll give you a full pipe.
Damn, I wish someone would give
I got a kind of funny story as well. This isn't mine. It was a guy I used to work with, and he was eventually fired. But he went to a concert one weekend with his older brother, and they paid, I don't know how much, to see Marilyn Manson. And he ended up drinking throughout the opening act, and then after Marilyn Manson finished playing, he turned to his brother and said, "Hey, do you know when Manson's coming on?" And he's like, "Dude, he just played for like the past hour and 15 minutes." He's like, "No, you're lying to me." He's like, no, seriously, you just watched the whole set standing next to me. He's like, "Dude, I just came back from the bathroom. What are you talking about?" I was like, "Dude, you've been standing next to me staring at the stage for like an hour, 15 minutes. And the dude had no memory of the entire concert that he paid like, I don't know, $150 for or something. So yeah, I always found that one kind of funny.
That's great.
Dude, when Danzig first started having Doyle come out and doing Misfits covers in the middle of Danzig shows, I paid a shitload of money to go to Chicago and see it with a bunch of people, and I drove there and I ate a whole thing of like Stacker 2 like trucker speed while I was on the way there. I missed Misfits part of the set because I had to go puke my fucking brains out.
Oh yeah,
was turning inside out.
Bunch of Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, fucking
trucker.
So dumb.
We make note of this that We Demon is going to release an EP soon called Trucker Speed.
Yeah, boy.
Fast songs only.
Take slow songs. It's basically just gonna be Crater Maker, but we do it all double time.
Now we just do like George Jones songs, but metal fast.
There you go. Trucker Speed. Anyways, next question.
You know, everybody's got like a guilty pleasure kind of band. I'll disclose mine is Eskimo Cowboy. I love that shit. It's so dumb, and I love it. So what is a guilty pleasure band that you guys have, or an album that you would be like, I don't want anyone to catch me listening to this?
And this is probably shouldn't say this on the internet, but my childhood, up until the age of like 15, my childhood guilty pleasure was 311. So don't fucking judge me for that shit. It was prior to before I was old enough to know any better. No, buddy. Oh, come on. Give me. I'm older than that.
That amber is the color of your energy.
Album, okay. When it had down and all mixed up, that was Jack O'Lantern's Weather.
All right.
The original right now.
That's shit. There you go. That was a classic. That was bang 311. Anyway, I would say my current my nowadays guilty pleasure, and I don't think it's guilty pleasure. I love them. They're polarizing, I guess, but I fucking love Clutch. Like, I love Clutch a whole bunch, and I know a lot of people don't, but I know a lot of the stoner dudes do. So I'll just be loud and proud and say that I'm a proud Clutch fan. And there are guys in the band that don't agree with me, and that's fine. All right. That's seeing Clutch. The only band
that's what makes it a guilty pleasure, my man.
Strain, which says a lot about my music. A lot about my music taste.
Dude, I love that band. I love that band.
Clutch
I'm not gonna lie, I love that band.
Summed up in like 2 genres.
Yes, they're definitely polars, but Casey Strain's sick, dude. Like, they had a lot of like kind of scene kid stuff in the middle of their career, but the beginning and their last few albums they put out are top notch, I think, in the deathcore scene.
My guilty pleasure is probably Frankie Yankovic.
Yep.
Of course. Yeah, old Frankie Yankovic.
Frankie Yankovic. Cleveland's polka town,
Jesus Christ.
I was going to say, isn't that Weird Al's dad?
Had to fucking go with something obscure. How's that guilty pleasure if no one knows who it is?
I don't know. Like, I don't listen to, like, it's the only thing I can think of, like, my guilty pleasure is Frankie Yankovic. Nobody likes the accordion, It's like Tom Waits said, a true gentleman is someone who can play accordion but doesn't. So
exactly. I turned our AC thing off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love polka.
All kinds of polka and all that.
You can call me a polka head.
So don't call me polka.
My guilty pleasure would probably be Genesis.
Hell yeah.
There's nothing wrong with Genesis. I'll just say that. Genesis has some solid tracks.
You're goddamn right.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who's totally proud of his guilty pleasure.
I mean, we can all agree Genesis was better than Phil Collins' solo shit.
But here's a guilty
Agreed.
Thing. It's not a guilty pleasure, but I know everyone needs to hit me baby one more time. So
Yes.
Well, good.
I know.
You want real embarrassing things.
I know. I think officially my guilty pleasure. You remember that combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell song from like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
That fucking band. I fucking love that band. I love them.
Dad's racist.
Dad's racist. And I never feel guilty about liking the band. I always feel a little weird about saying their name in public, though.
Yeah.
But I think, man, there's got to be more shit I'm embarrassed about listening to. I know there is.
For me, it's, and I feel bad saying this on the internet again, La Dispute. I know that they're super whiny and self-indulgent and dramatic, and I still like them anyway, and I don't know why.
I don't think I know either of the bands that both of you said.
Look,
You got. I'll send you guys a link to Eskimo. Oh my God, you'll laugh your balls off. I think you would totally enjoy it.
Sexual.
Yeah, they. Oh my God, Hypa is the song that caught my attention, and I'm gonna tell you, it's right up your alley. From talking to you guys for like the last hour, it's you'll love it. I'll send you a link to your page.
Fat Nick.
Fat Nick. I'm so mad. Like someone took my name and said Matt Brad with it.
Dude. Fat Nick's the Lil Windex is pretty great.
Lil Windex.
Listen to the song "Breaking Your Face" by Stitches more times than I care to admit.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a great song. I mean, it's terrible, but it's fantastic.
Oh,
I feel bad.
I was in a band that covered that song.
Oh my God! What?
Hot Wet Trash. Hot Wet Trash used to do a medley from "Shake It Off" by Taylor Swift into Stitches, "Brick in Your Face."
Oh no!
Nice.
And then wind up with "Wolf Like Me" by TV on the Radio.
Bring it back.
So it would just get from like garage rock to fucking straight up new metal butt rock version of Stitches. So like a hardcore soul song. That kind of thing.
We're taking it back.
Yeah, if you want to talk about guilty pleasures, I have this whole band that was all about like guilty pleasure music. And
we were called the Guilty Pleasures.
Hot wet trash. You know, I think on the face it kind of says, "Oh, guilty pleasure." but yeah, that takes us back to the whole. That's how we met at Skatopia, and how you came across me running around naked and all that business. So,
yeah, dude. Mushrooms and mushrooms
and free real estate, dude.
So if you guys don't mind, I might just ask a question that you probably get all the time, but who did the artwork for Crater Maker?
So the artist that his name is Luca, but his Instagram handle is Solo Machello, or
Okay.
I'm gonna completely fuck it up because it's Italian and I'm a dumb American. So I brought, unfortunately. Let me confirm here. God bless smartphones while I'm talking to you and looking this up. So, Solo Marcello or Marcello.
That's all good.
I actually found him because he did the artwork for High Reaper's last album, and I was a big fan of I'm a big fan of their music, but the artwork itself. And we were supposed to play a show with them, and so I actually reached out and asked them who their artist was, and they pointed me in the right direction, and we were pretty pleased with the outcome.
It's fantastic. I have to say, it's honestly one of the best album covers of the year. I thought it was
I appreciate
really
that.
cool.
We're actually trying to. He is working currently on a backdrop for our new music video we're working on, which is going to be all like still frame. We already did the shots of us, and we're going to be superimposed onto a green screen into the backdrop of which he's designing right now. So it's going to be kind of a play on the Crater Maker artwork, but imagine like a larger landscape, more like fire and volcanoes and medieval type shit, and we are going to be in that environment dressed up as D&D characters. So
fighting.
Oh, that's awesome.
It'll be off.
Is that for a new song that you guys have coming out, or something
the shortest
current?
song on Crater Maker because,
doing a 10-minute music video is really difficult.
So we went with the shortest one, which is still 5.5 minutes.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
Yeah. It's reasonable. It's still long for any normal single, any like normal song that a band puts out. But yeah, it also means there's less shots that he has to draw.
That's awesome. I have to tell you guys, because I didn't get to chat to you before the interview, but your album, Crater Maker, actually got me through one of the most stressful days of my entire life, which was back in April. I actually immigrated to the US from Australia, and it was during all the COVID stuff and all the lockdowns and everything was happening, and I was like stuck at an airport waiting for a flight that I didn't know if I was going to get sent back from the US to Australia or not, because I'd been calling embassies for like a week and no one could tell me hey, if you get on a plane, can I get into the country? And they're like, probably. So I took a chance and flew to the US with my approved visa. But there was a segment where I was stuck in an airport with a delayed flight for like an hour, and I blasted this album the entire time, and that fully distracted me. So this album's always going to be something I remember. So I just wanted to let you guys know
great, dude. Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate that. That's I swear to God, did you tell me that at some point? Like not before, like before I knew that you were doing this. Did you post that on something? I swear to fucking God, I remember hearing this somewhere along the way. Maybe did you buy merch or something, and you told me that?
Not to you directly, but maybe on our page, because we reviewed the album earlier in the year, and I think I may have said it in the comment section or something.
Because I'm like, God damn, that sounds familiar. I mean, I doubt there's two Australian dudes listening to Wheat Demon at the airport at the same time, but you never know.
No, that's true.
That's fucking that's great. Thanks, man. That's
I would hope so.
We are huge.
No, thank you guys. That was like That was a nightmare. I called like 6 government agencies, and everyone's like, talk to these dudes, talk to these dudes, talk to these dudes. And the person's like, yeah, I'm the person to speak to. And like, can I get in? They're like, probably. So literally, that was the most definitive answer I can get from like, I don't know, 16 phone calls. So that was awesome.
Too, that right now, when people more than ever are going to want to get the hell out of wherever they are, that you can't fucking get into any other country.
Yeah, they don't want us.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, nope. Well, yeah, especially for Americans, it's probably a little easier, like
Everywhere.
other people going other places. But I mean,
oh no, it's worse for Australia. Australians. So about a week after I left, they actually closed the borders for all Australians. So you can't leave. Like since April, no Australian, without like an exception, is about to leave the country at all for any reason other than
Government
work.
officials.
yeah.
They actually try to stop me because I'm a New Zealand citizen. And I was at the airport and they're like, oh, no, you can't leave. I'm like, dude, I'm not a citizen in Australia. They're like, yeah, but you live here. I'm like, do you understand how citizenship works? You can live in a place and not be a citizen. And the dude just was not getting it. It was like a half-hour argument between me and some border security guy. But basically, I have a document saying I can't come back to Australia. So if stuff doesn't work out in the US, I can't go
Hey,
home.
man, you can always
But,
come crash with us. It's all right.
I appreciate that. That is it's a great offer.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's
Corn.
Keeping on the COVID scene, how have you guys adapted to COVID? And then also, because of COVID, I'm pretty sure I saw you guys online. Do you plan on more shows like that? Do you have anything in the works?
Band is a living fucking nightmare. But and again, that's something that we always try and remind ourselves is that there's a bunch of other fucking dudes. Well, people. I include women as dudes. Thanks. Let's just clarify that. A lot of other dudes out there who are also dying to fucking play a show, and we all are in it together. It sucks, except for Trapped and other garbage bands like that. But other than that, we're all just toughing it out, and it just kind of is what it is. You gotta just suck it up and accept the fact that you're all not able to play music, and you don't want to risk anything. But we have been trying to navigate it with grace and poise, so to speak, and try and think of things to keep ourselves entertained and keep people engaged. So we did the live stream at Spacebar, which was pretty well received. I think we ended up with like 7,000 or 8,000 views, and then we're working on the video. It's a weird time to release an album, but the wheels were already in motion when we were planning Crater Maker, so we couldn't pull out really, and it has actually gone pretty well, all things considered, with the exception of not being able to play shows. We've had pretty good reception for the album and everything, but I guess it's just all about outside of the box thinking right now, trying to think of new ways to get people actually giving a shit about your band and your music, and especially when there's more band, the market's saturated and people are having their attention pulled left and right. So we're trying to think of anything we can.
It's challenging. It's also been really cool just to see all the new kind of stuff, new ways interacting, new ways of putting stuff out there that people come up with. But at the same time, we're all thinking the same thing. Like, can we please just get this over with and get back to doing a show? Like us and everyone, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, we're not content creators. We're musicians, and we're dudes that like live music. We like
to hang out and drink beer.
We like beer. We like drinking beer and fucking playing riffs, and the other stuff comes along, right? But if you take that out of it, we're not SoundCloud rappers. We're not creating content every fucking month. So
we want this to be our life, not our job.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's deep, Nick.
I thought so too.
Shit.
That's it. Like every time you have to survive something like this, you kind of have to go in like serious business mode and like track a course for yourself. And
that's why we're doing a podcast with you dudes instead of practicing, because it makes more sense now to be fair, we would do the podcast regardless of COVID or not, because frankly, it's a nice break from the monotony of fucking just sitting around planning band practice when you don't have a show coming up. We don't have anything to look. We don't have anything that we have to practice for. So getting to sit here and bullshit with you guys is actually a fucking godsend to be able to pull us away from sitting here just playing the same riffs because we don't got anything coming up.
It's like goddamn have to talk to someone.
Yeah, man,
just like Trump supporters.
Just like some human contact, man.
That's nice. So, what are your guys' hobbies outside of creating content?
Man, it's one of those questions where you ask yourself deep down, and you get really sad when you realize there's nothing else that you're good at. True.
Well, I mean, being good at something doesn't equate it to being a hobby, you know.
Andy basically has a small studio in his house and records his solo shit. And
started taking up the fiddle during COVID. So
there you go.
Nice.
I like
awesome.
Just a regular fiddle. Just
cool. All right,
wood.
That's awesome.
It's got strings.
Electric fiddle or acoustic?
Is it technically a dulcimer?
No.
Oh. Okay, dulcimer. I thought that was. It's a particular instrument.
That's like a funky guitar.
Oh, all right.
Fiddle, violin, it's all the same.
I got it, yes.
I just picked up an RC car today, so I'm about 2 hours deep into that hobby.
Oh, awesome.
And I'm already almost electrocuted myself, so that's cool. Yeah, I actually had 2 out of the box because I ordered it and it showed
Are
up.
you modding it?
And then they didn't have a battery that fit it. And so they're like, "Oh, we can go get that in 2 weeks." I was like, "Fuck you! I'm going home to play with this now." So I went to another store, and they're like, "Well, we don't have a battery that fits either. But if you put this speed controller on it, and then put this battery, cut these pieces out, you could totally make it work."
Whoa.
So I'm like, "Fine. Another $200 down the drain. Why not?"
Why did you print it?
It's a speed controller. I don't know how to 3D print.
Hold on. I want to just say something. Nick mentioned the RC car shit, but for the last 5 months he's been just printing shit on a 3D printer.
I'm gonna get there. I haven't done that for a little while.
Printer,
so.
That's a fucking hobby.
That is totally. It's almost as expensive. Yeah.
That's noteworthy.
Well, I think what I'm at now is where I can 3D print parts for the RC car and combine expensive hobbies.
And I will give Nick some quick props. He was 3D printing masks during the first couple months of coronavirus. So
yeah, back when we thought that there was going to be a huge mask shortage and that everyone would take it seriously.
Yeah. So good on Nick.
As someone who doesn't really understand,
Good for you, dude.
Yeah, seriously. As someone who doesn't understand 3D printing all that well,
it's
what do you print the mask out of?
Plastic, but specially designed. It's basically like corn syrup, but made into a kind of polymer. It just comes off cool, and you feed it through a hot end, and as it moves the hot end around, it squirts the filament out, and it cools almost instantly and just hardens like a regular plastic. So, I mean, it's the same way they do plastic, heat it up and then mold it, and boom, it's done. But you just do it one layer at a time.
One piece at a time.
Yeah. So, it's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
It's way cooler than an RC car that he got 2 days ago.
I guess. I don't know. The RC car goes
Can you
fast, bro.
Can you constitute something as a hobby if it's only been 2 days?
No.
All right.
I'm myself.
You're not an RC car guy yet, Nick.
All right, fine.
It's an interest. That I would say that's an interest.
I have a motorcycle, so I'm a motorcycle.
Yeah. I looked at a motorcycle yesterday, and so now I'm a motorcycle guy. Yeah.
I'm a
a really good handlebar mustache.
I think we all. Andy's really into memes. I think we're all really into roasting Trump supporters on the internet. That's also a big hobby. Yeah,
I try not to, but I end up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think now is a fair time to say that if we
I do as well. It happens.
Would like to collectively tell the internet, not that your base is a lot of Trump supporters, but if you are a Trump supporter, we don't want you as a fan. And there's that.
Controversy.
Well, it's easier than making a post about it, so, fuck it.
True. We'll get less comments. I know our fans.
Politics aside.
They're like, I can't believe that Weed Demon said this about you guys. Why are you so political right now?
Small brains, low energy.
They haven't even sold as many albums as Trapped. Come on.
No.
What's that about?
So that would be we'll end our that's all we're gonna do on politics. Is just that one. That's all we gotta do.
But I mean, is it really a shocker to anyone listening that the band that has a description on their Facebook saying, if you spilled bong water on a Ouija board, what would happen? Is anti-Trump?
Well, I would like to think that we are, we're accepting of all people, except Trump supporters.
Except people who don't accept people.
Yeah. We're accepting of everyone except people that don't accept people. So the Ouija board bong water thing is, I've been riding that for a long time. I think I came up with that when I was like stoned one day, thinking that I was like really brilliant, and when I was trying to think of like what Weed Demon actually sounded like. So that's pretty much just been that's been my go-to line of like, well, what do you guys sound like? Have you ever like spilled bong water in a board? It's like that. It's pretty much like that. Yeah.
It's probably one of the best band taglines I've seen. Props on that one.
I've gotten less original and creative since Stoned to Death came out. I was like really exhausted all of my weed puns. So
if what's it called? Cannabis Corpse can keep going. I'm sure you guys can come up with some more funny jokes.
Aren't they out of Cannibal Corpse songs to play off of?
Yeah, absolutely.
They've been branching out to do a bunch of other band stuff from what I've seen. There's a lot of different death metal covers in there with weed references.
It's really expanded beyond Bongzilla and Weed Eater since those days.
Dude, don't shit on the Cannabis Corpse universe.
And Mammoth with the grinder beater.
Mammoth Bong something.
Yeah,
I'd like to consider Weed Demon the part of the second wave of New American Stoner Doom. Hold on.
It was
Andy. We used to introduce ourselves as the
new wave of blackened stoner bikers,
stoner death, stoner doom,
death band.
Turns out there's a lot of genres in this community. We try and hit them all.
Oh, there are. And then you get some elitists who argue with you about what your band is, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, the fucking cesspool that is the YouTube comments. It's just a fucking, like, shit show of these, like, bridge-dwelling troglodyte mouth breathers who just crawl out of the fucking rock they live under just to only comment on the video of, this is more stoner doom than doom stoner. And I'm just like, man, shut the fuck up. And then, fucking talk about, like, what influences they think you have, and then argue with each other when someone's like, oh, this has a really heavy Electric Wizard feel. And then someone will come out of left field and be like, shut the fuck up, dumbass. It's more like fucking Sleep, like their first EP.
The riff at 220 sounds like
band. God, when they actually call out the minute of the fucking riff.
That's action.
Dude.
Anywhere on the internet, shitty comments, man.
Elitist.
A demo of my Laney amp. Every once a month, I'll get someone to be like, "Man, this tone sounds like total shit." And it's dialed in like this, and I'm just like, "Thanks."
And then post Sleep's Dope Smoker or whatever.
Like, thanks, I love it. No, I say thanks, and then I that's it. You kill them with kindness, I
was at a convention fit because I went on a Daily Show video a couple of days ago, and there was like 50 different comments, 50 different people being like, I don't understand why it has to be so political. And I was like, what show did you tune into again?
It's the Daily.
Dude.
Bring back Craig Kilborn.
You can't even post metal videos now with, like, every time you follow Metal Injection or any of these metal news sites, everything they post eventually just devolves into political fucking
political discussion.
Antifa versus white supremacy anger, and it's just obscene watching all these cave trolls just come out of nowhere that don't even play music just to talk shit on music.
Oh,
it's
fucking another guilty pleasure, except not a guilty pleasure. We just need to fucking shout out like Neckbeard Death Camp.
Oh, yeah. Neckbeard Death Camp for president.
I mean, I see a lot of that stuff online, and I mean, you guys are lucky. okay, this is probably a generalization, but I've noticed that the fandom for like stoner doom stuff is so much more chill and so much less elitist than that of black metal. And I say that as someone who listens to a
I do
shitload
too,
of black
man.
metal.
It's like,
But
I don't even know that-
holy crap! Yeah, we both do.
Love.
But the
love
fan
black
base,
metal.
man, it just
No, go for it.
just like the sheer amount of like picking stuff apart, nitpicking and genre defining and like scoping things down and attacking other people for having a slightly different opinion. That stuff just shits me. But you just don't see it with the stoner doom stuff nearly as much.
Right. If they don't say that it's experimental
So, I
black
think,
metal, then
yeah,
it's like
this-
not
hear me
considered
out
black
on this, but I
metal,
think there was
or
a
like
real
it's
legitimate
terrible.
reason behind that. And I think it's because by the time most dudes get old enough to appreciate stoner metal, they're already well into their 30s or close to it. And so they're not as concerned with like popularity and being, quote unquote seen or being like, elitist. And I think that is something that comes more with age, because as you get older, you really, quite frankly, don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. And I think that's why stoner doom, sludge, et cetera, is a much more matured, older musicians genre, because the young dudes are into, like you said, black metal because it's more extreme, it's more jarring, like not just musically but imagery wise, and they want that shock value and they want that kind of fucking next level edginess. Yeah, black metal is the edgelord genre, and we all know that.
Edginess.
Yeah, no, it is.
I actually remember commenting on someone that was like, when all the racial stuff started coming out a few months ago, and they're like, I just don't think black metal has edginess anymore. And I remember making a comment like, why don't you edge yourself off of this, bud? Like,
It's a weird community. Musically, love a lot of black metal. And I miss the days. You guys remember the days when like
Same here.
black metal was the fucking nerd of the metal community? Like worse than noise or porn grind, shit like that. It was fucking black metal, dudes. I bring back the fucking dorks with the corpse paint at shows. And like, I'm not talking to the bands. I mean the fans. Those were the fucking dudes, man. Like the dudes that would just
Yeah.
and browse.
right.
I don't even know what's
the 4chan of black?
Yeah, what's 4chan of black? Yeah, but for the early 2000s. Yeah, LimeWire, and just scroll through looking at fucking bear share.
Yeah.
Bring back the nerdy black metal.
They're like, if it wasn't recorded through like a 4-track player, then it's not OG, and I don't deserve to listen to it.
I think, and this is going to be like maybe an unpopular opinion, but it started with the whole phase of black gaze, like all the like Alcest stuff and Death Heaven. Yeah, those guys. So ever since that happened, it's become like the hipster genre a bit.
Well,
and it's just never been the same since then.
That means if that's true, then that means that new metal should be making its hipster resurgence anytime now.
Already has.
Well, it's made a resurgence. It's not hipster, but there's definitely I've seen so much new metal popping up lately. I'm like, what is happening?
All the genres,
I thought this died in the 90s and it's back.
I cannot believe. I mean, I can, but I can't. I don't know why.
Doing it all for the nookie.
New metal never left.
Yeah, new metal.
It's always been there.
New metal never died, bro.
I'm like, I'd rather see people making new metal because they generally want
Always
to,
was.
rather than it's 1996. How do I get on MTV?
Right. I don't know if you guys heard of Talia, but like that was a newer kind of new metal band that was not too shabby for being a new metal band.
Like, do they claim the
being
title or the
released this year.
label of new metal?
Or does it have like a new thing?
They didn't rebrand.
New metal.
New metal, but spelled normal.
Nah, it says new metal. I'm
New
pretty
metal.
sure. I'm gonna double check this right now.
Yeah.
And it's 2 O's now.
New metal.
New metal. Well, and I think we'd all be lying right now if we said we didn't all listen to new metal when we were kids. 110%.
I was doing it now. Fuck it.
But
No, we all did.
Deftones, I don't give a shit.
Def don't even get into the
yeah.
new metal. Deftones aren't.
Well, they're not new metal,
they're
right?
barely new metal compared to like fucking
Have you guys listened to the new album yet?
I have not.
There's mixed opinions, but I actually thought it was pretty alright. It was actually one of the better ones.
That's
Ooh,
Everything with the core. Everything with the fucking.
I was
New
going
core.
to say, for the Talia comment, it's
What
new
about
core.
weed? Can we change our genre to weed core? Hell yeah.
It's new
Right.
core. Yep.
Sure. Yeah,
in
100%.
20 years,
Be the pioneers.
Look back and want to know the origins
Yes.
of the genre. You tell them. That
You be the first. You, yeah.
Shit, that's probably already taken.
No, they'll be on our comments by January, being like, "This is more fucking Electric Wizard than Weed Core."
Mark my word. Mark my word. This time next year, have that on a T-shirt. I see you.
Dude, that's got Caius all over it.
Weed Core 420 Life.
Dead to fucking rights. Weed demon.
There's a beer called Weed Core.
Weed core. Well, I'm right now. I promise. I'm still trying to get something printed with the Sons of Midwestern Jackets on it. So just wait for that first, and then we'll get to Weed Core.
I'm already planning a subgenre called Resin Core.
Resin Core. That's heavier than.
Yeah, there you go.
Porno weed.
Yes.
Is that has to be remixes of your songs currently?
Done. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I got a good question. If you guys could be any weed strain, what would you be?
Hillbilly
Dirtweed.
I was gonna say, in my mind, I'm a Death Star, but in reality, I'm fucking Meeks County Gold.
Oh, man.
Which is
no, man, that's good. Meigs County Gold is infamous.
I was gonna say it. Except it's also that the Holy Grail, where like you keep getting shit called Meeks County Gold, and you're like, dude,
yeah, that's true. Outdoor grown just tastes a little weird.
Yeah,
dude. So
this is more West Virginia.
There's like we'll go places and play out of state, and we'll have people that are like, "Y'all from Ohio? Oh man, you ever had any of that Meigs County Gold?" And we're like, "What the fuck, dude? How do you know weed strains from a county in Ohio?" There's just one guy, man, just fucking one dude.
That's because their guy had to sell it, and that was it.
I'm probably more of I'm not a hyper stoner. I'm very laid back.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a, I don't know, probably like a fucking OG. Insert anything you want after that. I don't know.
OG.
Slightly more straightforward question for you guys. Since you formed as a band, Weed Demon, who is the hardest sort of partying band that you've toured with? Like, which band did you guys play with? You're like, holy shit, these guys go hard.
So I will say that we have actually toured with would be Maharaja, which is a 3-piece from Dayton. They're are really, really good buddies of ours. I will say that it would have been probably Mother Iron Horse had our tour. They're on their Electric Valley record label mate with us. So we were supposed to do.
I love that band, dude.
Or a week and a half with them on our way back from Psycho Smokeout.
Yeah.
And then COVID, shit the bed. So I will say that it would have probably been Mother Iron Horse had we actually had the opportunity to tour with them like we had planned out.
Yeah.
I think that's safe to say.
That's very safe to say. We played one show with them, and they were a little bit...
I got fucking blacked. It was my birthday show. It was mine and Nick's birthday show, and I definitely fucking blacked out after it from getting shots poured in my mouth on stage from Marco.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Salem, right? Around there?
That's funny. Yeah, they're from my neck of the woods. Yeah. So I'm in Connecticut. They're in Massachusetts, like right next door. They're a good band, man. They're a great stoner. Man, I'm trying to think of the name of the song that I really like. Basalic is the fourth song off their album.
They're like Weed Demon, but on biker fucking meth. Like they're not fast, but they fucking rip. They're not. Well, they are fast compared to us. They're just like that right amount of fucking speed, but balances out with it's like speed to riff balance. It's like very good, right?
Yes.
They're right in the pocket.
Right in the They're in the fucking pocket.
Oh, they're definitely
good
very
dudes.
good.
One of these days we'll.
I gotta post that into our
maybe
group.
next year we'll get to link up with them on the road.
That's good
We
shit.
were supposed to play Psycho Smokeout got rebooked for October, so it was originally in April, and then they canceled it for COVID, pushed it back, and every band confirmed again that they were going to play in October. So it was actually supposed to be, I think, like last weekend. It was when the redo date was supposed to happen, and that got canceled as well. So, maybe the fucking stars align and all that good shit. Maybe one day we'll get to riff with them again and out on the road. But we're not going anywhere. I don't think they are either.
No, they're not. They're a good band. Been listening to them since. Oh, I started following them on Instagram when they first started putting out the Lesser T, and they're always posting something
down.
like with a pipe in there
I've
or
always
something.
appreciated their brand. It's
they're
very on point.
totally
They got
down.
a theme. They got they purple, naked chicks, Satan, and weed. So the band checked off
Lots of
boxes.
purple. Or dead or alive. It doesn't matter.
2
So
years
if you
ago,
got somebody
said Bong
that's
Ripper,
no longer with us,
then we got
you
the
can
chance
mention
to
them.
play with them like a year and a half ago at our it was the Astrological Passages album release show. So that was fucking great. That was like one of the ones I probably would have probably would say for contemporary bands.
You guys.
And while I think
Conan
about
was sweet.
Conan was sweet.
Yeah, I would have said I hate. We also did.
I Hate God. Yeah, we pretty much we've already played with all our idols except Sleep. I think. So if you're listening, Matt Pike, your boys are wet. Your boys are ready whenever you come to Columbus. Just let us know.
If he was listening, that'd be pretty cool for our page.
I would say so. Let's who's deceased, or that you wish you could play with.
Frank Zappa.
Lemmy.
That was easy.
Van Halen.
Case. I would also.
Lemmy. I mean, you guys did a cover song of
not in
Damage Plan.
Yeah.
Columbus, then, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. We gotta bring that up.
Right.
The studio's right down the street from the Alrosa.
Yeah, I would probably say, I'm despite what people think about Pantera or whatever mixed political feelings on Phil Anselmo, I still would love to fucking play with Down. Probably huge Down fan. Probably Crowbar. Melvins, yeah.
I'm going to play with the
Bury
version
Me in
down
Smoke.
where we had the guys from Living Color join them. I saw them play together at Rock on the Range. They had friggin' what's his name, Vern,
Yeah.
the singer, to come out and jam on the last song with
Hell
them.
yeah.
That was badass. Feels basic, but Electric Wizard. I would fucking kill to even go to an Electric Wizard show, especially at this point.
Yeah, man.
It was
their new album,
latest
album, Wizard Bloody Wizard, was pretty good. I feel like it's kind of like ending for them though. Like it was really good, but like I feel like it was kind of at the point where they might be getting exhausted.
We talked to someone else that came on the show about this an interview or two ago, but we'll pose a question to you guys because you'll probably find it interesting. But there's a sort of school of thought online that says Black Sabbath sort of inspired a lot of the first wave of doom and stoner music, and then the new wave is actually more inspired. Well, a lot of it is, at least, by Electric Wizard than it has been by Black Sabbath. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, I still like Electric Wizard too. So,
look, I want to hate on that, but that describes me to an absolute T. So I like that to show myself out. Like I remember distinctly when a friend in college, like I was 20, and my friend in college was like, "Look, I hate metal, but you gotta fucking hear these guys." And there's Electric Wizard, and then I got high, and now it's 15 years later, and here we are.
Yeah.
I would say that.
I mean, I would definitely put Dope Throne down as one of the most influential albums in the genre.
Oh yeah, Dope Throne and Dope Smoker.
We were talking
those
before
two
the
albums are, I think, quintessential to the genre.
Stoner Doom community, and every fucking single group I belong to on Facebook, once a month without fail, someone asks Dope Throne or Dope Smoker. and they make you have to like, which one, man, which one? And it's like, I mean, hard to argue because they both. I mean, have which one? I've listened to Dope.
Yeah, I shake my head at that. Like, no, both.
Just me
both.
personally.
One and one.
That doesn't mean that I like it more. It just means that I spend an hour shopping for groceries, and I know when Dope Smoker is over, it means I'm done and I need to leave.
All right.
That's
the way to do it.
I gotta fucking go. I use that as like a time frame reference every time I do anything that I want to do.
I've been here for an hour. I gotta go.
I smoke and then I go do my thing. And if it's been an hour, but if the Dope Smoker's over, I know I've been there too long.
Oh, for me, it's masturbation.
Oh, what? Yeah, of course.
I used to put it on at the gym to make sure I'd stay there for an hour.
Yeah, it's great, man. You want to do something in an hour and it's an hour and 6 minutes? There you go.
There you go.
I gotta start winding down, buddy. We gotta go.
Holy shit, I've overdone it.
Dope throat or dope smoker? I'm gonna say so. If we're asking the question, I'm gonna say dope smoker.
Heard that. It's groovy, man. They're both groovy, but like that's a groovy album.
Yeah.
I also like Come My Fanatics. That's actually a really solid album as well. It does, and it's kind of a halfway point. I mean, a halfway. It's leaning more towards the harsher side, but it's got some of like the earlier doomy, like groovier influences too. It's not quite as harsh, if you know what I mean.
Sabbathy, and even had that kind of old school, sort of cleanish but ultra heavy tone. But then I think when you get the Dope Throne, I think the big thing was that they nailed that super heavy balance, the fucking crushing the sub bass, and then the guitar that actually fills out. The guitar has enough fucking bass for 3 bands. Then they had to do it, and it's like, yeah, that's how you're supposed to fucking do it. Like I think when it comes to like the underground doom culture, Sleep is probably what got a lot of people. I think Sleep probably rejuvenated the genre, but I think when Electric Wizard Dope Throne came out, that's when it brought in a lot of outside people to be like, check it out. 21st Century Doom's going to be dope, dude.
And like this last sort of 12 months, I guess, especially with COVID, there's just been like an absolute explosion of output. Like you guys mentioned earlier, the market's saturated, but there's been a massive amount of quality stuff come out this year.
Well, I think a lot of people had stuff in the
really
works, and this gave them an opportunity to actually finish shit up, maybe, because it's like, well, we don't have. That was one of our big things between material is that we would be inundated with shows, and we wouldn't have the time to sit down and write because we were, it's hard to pass up opportunities when you're guys that like to actually play live and you like, drinking beer and selling merch and watching your friends play and shit. That it's really hard to say no to shows. So we had to really start to be particular when we wanted to start writing this album, and then COVID hit, and we're like, oh, well, cool. Now we had finished the album and recorded it, and then we didn't get to play any of it live. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's
a shame.
That's why I'm super thankful that you guys did at least one online show. Do you have any more plans for any online shows coming up in the future?
We don't have anything on deck, but I mean, we are definitely open to the idea of it. I think personally, I'd like to do something more of anyone can go to YouTube and watch our album release that we did, but I think I'd like to do something a little more like specific, like a cover set, or just be part of something with other performers where we get to play just a song or two, and along with other bands in the genre or otherwise, where we just get to like have a like
a rock and roll circus type thing, almost like an online type deal.
Yeah. So if there's opportunities arise, we're open to.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. If you could do a collaboration or like a split with anybody, did you have anybody in mind?
We had talked about doing a split a while back with our label mates in Atomic Mold, but that just kind of fell through. Like, we didn't line up with time wise. We had material ready at different times, and so maybe someday we'll, like I said, we got 2 tracks that we're just sitting on right now, and maybe we'll end up doing something with those guys. But it's tough. You gotta find the right band. You don't want a band that's too way bigger than you. You don't want a band that's way smaller than you. You just gotta find the right guys, and it really helps if you're friends with them. That way you already have like a dialogue and a rapport with them. So I guess that kind of remains to be seen. But I'm always on the lookout for someone that I find that's.
I think that if you guys could do one with Toke, that would be fucking
awesome. We're pretty good friends with Tim and the dudes. They came through. I think we played with them like 4 or 5 times now. They're always on the road. Were they? They were always on the road. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know they just got a new drummer because there's some sketchy shit with their last dude, but
that
those
was
dudes
terrible news when I read that.
They're kindred spirits with us, so who knows?
They did the right thing
someday, but those dudes have been road dogs for the last, God, I don't know how long, the last like three fucking 4 years straight. So I don't know if they've had time to like record anything because they're always playing out. They do, man. They play fucking constantly.
I got like 6 or 7 songs on Spotify, and that's
yeah.
I'm dying. A new tone.
Yeah, they're from North Carolina. North Carolina.
Swing it around your head like a helicopter.
Yeah.
So I actually just realized we actually clicked over to 72 minutes now. And we generally try to keep these things around an hour. So we've actually gone a bit over. But Brendan, before we start to wrap it up, did you have any more questions for the guys while we have them on?
A couple. Let's see. So Jetson ended where Atmospheric Drag began. I personally love that. And do you guys continue to progress on that kind of sound?
I think Andy probably would be better inclined to mention to expand on this. But I think it was it was like a bridge, but I think that it was not. Crater Maker is way different than Atmospheric or Astrological Passages. What, Andy, when you did that, what did you have?
I meant like that song, at the very end of Jettisons, where like you have that it's like basically Atmospheric Drag, but it was like.
Yeah, I mean
that sound is amazing.
It was definitely, we planned it that way, but I don't see us doing the same thing again, leading into whatever we do next with the same, sort of bridge. We just thought it was a good idea this time because it's you're listening to Astrological Passages and just kind of that fades out with that acoustic guitar, and we're everyone kind of thought it would be a cool idea to just start the next thing with the same kind of thing and move on. But
right, I was thinking kind of how you had a Spore Lord ending with that real funky style. I was like, we're gonna expect that in the next record.
Back with a reggae.
I can say 100% no intention of doing that.
Man, all right. Well, I don't know that. I think we all Crater Maker is without question a heavier album than Astrological Passage. Astrological Passage is heavy, but it's in a totally different realm of heavy than Crater Maker. We explored a little more on Crater Maker with the genres and fucking different time things. We just we went more polarized, and I think people dug it, but we really just dug in and wanted to give it something different. You can only play the same fucking riffs so many times, so that's why this title track has blast beats and a black note.
Right.
So we're like, fuck, we're tired of playing slow. Let's just play something fast.
No, we did it for the money.
Yeah, right. We did it for
stacks of money, drugs that we have.
Well, and so
they said, we don't hear a single voice.
Yeah. And Damn. If you look up atmospheric drag, that is actually what the term is for an object entering the planet's atmosphere. Like, so that when a comet or something comes into the Earth's atmosphere, it has atmospheric drag against it as it's coming into the atmosphere. And that is kind of what I had in mind when I was like, oh, our last song's called Jettisoned, which you obviously know what jettisoned means, out into space. So you have to eventually you have to come down somewhere, right? Your land or come in. Mm-hmm. So the idea was to atmospheric drag. It is a continuation of sorts of astrological passages. But then Birthquake is probably the song most similar to that, and that's why we put it first. And then everything else gets, heavier and more extreme from there. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a great album, man. The progression is insanely awesome.
Oh,
I actually really like the fact that you guys opened with not one but two instrumentals. Yeah. No, I mean, I know what you guys are talking about, but yeah, I saw that. That's why I'm mentioning it, because I actually saw some hate towards you guys about that. Like, why would you open an album with two instrumentals? It doesn't capture my interest. I'm like, dude, then how short is your attention span? It's a great way to open the album. It builds a ton of atmosphere right from the get-go, I thought. So that's my opinion.
Absolutely.
We do what we fucking want, and you know what? What's so wrong with a band doing back-to-back instrumental tracks? If we had done it all in one, no one would have said anything.
Nothing.
One track was an hour long. Everyone would have loved it.
We had a couple fucking dorky interview dudes that were like review guys that were like, it's just someone dude who said like, oh, whoever their producer is should be ashamed of himself for letting a band do a back-to-back instrumental tracks.
Sorry to cut you off there, guys. We actually run out of time for the interview. It's run a bit long, and we have some time limits on the recording software. Just wanted to say a massive thank you for coming on the show. It's been really great chatting to you. Definitely one of the more enjoyable interviews we've done. Brendan, anything to add there?
I think that it was a great time talking to you guys, and that I appreciate it so much. And thank you guys for making such badass music, and stay frosty.
Okay, we're just going to close out the interview actually playing that track we were talking about, Birthquake, which is the second instrumental track on the album. So thanks everyone for listening. Next time we'll tune in and we should have Gravehuffer on to do an interview about their upcoming album. So thanks everyone, and that's it for us today.
Later, brother.
Bye.